My full name is Jerome Stephen P.H. Nieblas, the only P.H. I'll ever get, by the way. And I'm 65 years old and residing in San Juan Capistrano. I have for my 65 years. I'm honored and I'm humbled to tell you about my past and my who I descend from. The first that humbles me the most because of the story, because of the people, is I descend from the Juaneño band of Mission Indians, a Acjachemen nation. The mission, Chigalia, our people were brought into the mission system. They lost their home, they lost their culture, they lost their traditional spirituality. I'll call it a spirituality, because everything was important to them. All of creation was a gift of the Creator. Everything around them was important. Everything around them was spiritual. Everything around them was religious and important. When they were brought into the mission system, that all changed. Their whole way of life changed. Nothing would ever be the same. So it's interesting. They went into it. I think I would have probably laid down and gone away, died, doing whatever. These people weren't going to be put down. They were going to survive. So, forced, yes, in some cases, a lot of cases, they built Mission San Juan Capistrano, which was a lot more extensive than what we see today. And they were forced to build it, and they were forced to stay within the boundaries of Mission San Juan Capistrano. And they were told, you change your way of life or else. That's just it was normal back then. It's sad to say, but it was normal back then. So they picked it up, and they did it. They built that mission, and all of a sudden, that became their home. Their security blanket that became their protector. They were going to make it work for them. So, and out of that, this happy marriage formed. This great pride in that mission formed. So they took care of it. They were there. They became a part of it. They expanded the talents that the mission had taught them out into the surrounding lands, the farming, the agriculture, the groves. And then all of a sudden, speed it up a little bit. Here come all the governments start clashing. The American government, the Spanish government, the Mexican government. Mexico expels the priest and closes the mission and tells the people goodbye. Another home gone. Here these people had survived. Here they had built this mission. They had become comfortable with it, accepted it. It was now their new home. It was very important to them. They were more accepting of the culture, the religion, the spirituality, the traditions. And again, it's taken away from them. Nobody cares about them. That's when we saw turmoil really hit San Juan again. Because whole families would leave San Juan, whole family units would leave San Juan, and they would move into the northern part of what's now Orange County, and would form barrios or colonias. Barrios are not like what we refer to as barrios today. Barrios were whole family units. Colonias were whole family units of a whole family. They had left an area, gone to an area. Most of them went to work for Rancho Santana, which was a branch of Rancho Yorba. And they didn't want to break their families up, so they formed these barrios, colonias. And out of that, these major cities ended up growing. As soon as the mission was able, when there was ever a priest back there, even if it was on a part-time basis, because they weren't there all the time, but when a priest would come down, which was rare, to celebrate the Mass or to initiate the sacraments, these people would be there. They would be there. And it was interesting to watch all that unfold because, again, an institution that had again turned their back on the very people that they forced to build this institution, they still were loyal to that institution and would return. So anyway, the Native Americans come back in and they start taking care of the place and trying to get back in, but there's a family occupying it, the Forster family. The Forster family had purchased the Mission San Juan Capistrano for $710 through an illegal sale, through their relative, the last Mexican governor of California, Pio Pico. And the Forsters lived there for 20 years. Abraham Lincoln, one of his last acts, I believe it was a month before he was assassinated, returned the missions back to the Catholic Church, left it up to them to decide who was going to keep what, and if they wanted the mission, would it benefit them, whatever, but it was going to be their decision. So the Forster family left and went to Rancho, I believe. They went to their ranch, which is now Camp Pendleton, Rancho Santa Margarita, and retired out there. Who were the ones that came back? The Native American population, the Native American people. Started building up the mission again, started having religious services, brought all the religious items back, put the mission into a functioning home again for them. They built the mission up again. They were the ones that went to work for the mission. They were the ones that told the priests where the buildings were, what the buildings were used for. These are your statues. These are your liturgical vessels. These are your vestments. They were the ones that came and put everything back together, started rebuilding it, started establishing it. They were the ones that worked there. When it became an area for visitors that would welcome visitors, again, it was the native population that was working there. When I look at that mission, I don't see an institution. I don't see the human element anymore. I see magnificent walls, structures, buildings, churches. That's us. We are in those walls. They are a part of us.